In this video we will continue our series of migration of VMs. So on my last video I showed you how to actually migrate Ubuntu server to Proxmox. So in this video I will show you how to do the same, but this time using Windows Server 2025. So are you ready? Let's get started. So the first note here is this can also applies to Windows Server 2011, 2026, 16 actually, or 2019 servers also, okay? But here for as a demonstration I'll be using Windows Server 2025, okay? So the first thing that we have to do is that we have actually to prepare our Windows Server virtual machine. So in order to do that we need a couple of softwares, okay? So I will show you the first one, which is very important, is that we have actually to download the Virtio drivers. So in order to download them you will find the link on the description, okay? So these drivers will allow us to boot actually our virtual machine on Proxmox without having this famous blue screen. And we need also the QEMU image program, okay, that will allow us to convert the Hyper-V format, which is VHDX format, to a format that Proxmox can recognize, which is QCOW2, okay? And actually we did that on my last video, but I will show you also in this video how to do that. It's pretty easy, just execute a command, it will convert that to the appropriate format, okay? So as I told you, the first step is to prepare our image. So here we have a Windows Server 2025. So you have to actually attach the ISO of the virtual ISO that you have downloaded to it. So all you have to do is just to go to the settings of this virtual machine, and here you can see that we have a DVD drive. So all you have to do is to attach to this DVD drive an image, and the image will be just this virtual ISO. So I'll browse to my actually downloads, and here we go. This is our virtual Windows drivers, okay? So now we can just run this Windows Server actually virtual machine and execute the program that we will find in this DVD, okay? So I will apply that and I will OK. Then I will launch our Windows Server 2025. So I will start it. Here we go. So here the Windows Server is starting. So this is our Windows Server. Here we go, we can log in. So as you can see, this is the server manager, but we don't need it, so I will go straight ahead to the DVD drive in order to execute the two programs that are actually inside this ISO that we have downloaded. So this is our DVD drive. So let's just open it on the Explorer, and in the bottom you'll find two programs that we actually must execute in order to prepare our Windows Server virtual machine. So the first one is this virtual IO drivers. So I will choose here the version 64 bits. So you have just to click on next. So I already done that, so I will just prepare the installation and install it. So this program will allows us to install the virtual IO drivers, that are needed in order to boot actually the Windows server on Proxmox. And also you should execute this virtual IO guest tools. So those tools will allows us to install the QEMU actually agent also. Okay, so once you have executed these two programs, your virtual machine is actually ready to be transferred to Proxmox, but after converting it to the appropriate format. Okay, so here you can see the QEMU guest agent is also being installed using the virtio-win-guest tools. Okay, so everything is okay. Now we can just shut down this virtual machine and proceed to the next step. So make sure to shut down the virtual machine properly. Okay, so everything is okay. So the state is off. So now all we have to do is to go to the location of this Windows Server hard disk. So if you don't know where it's located, all you have to do is to right click on this Windows Server, go to the settings, and here on the hard drive you will find the virtual hard disk location. So by default it's located on this program data Microsoft Windows virtual hard disks. So let's go to it. So on my machine it's here. Okay, so now I have to execute a command on my terminal. So I will show you this command here. So we'll go to the directory where you have actually installed the program that I showed you, which is the QEMU converter, this program here, QEMU image. So for me it's installed under program files QEMU, and you have to execute this command QEMU image convert, and you have here to specify the output, which is QCOW2, which is the format that Proxmox recognized. Okay, and of course here we have also to specify the name of the output file. So here I will keep just the winserver.qcow2 file format. So you execute this command in order to convert actually the Hyper-V disk format to the Proxmox disk format, which is QCOW2. So it will take a lot of time. So for me, a couple of minutes. It depends on the size of your image. And finally, you will get this file here, winserver.qcow2. Okay, so for me it's around actually 11 gigabytes. So now we will use another program in order to transfer it to Proxmox. Okay, but before that let's create our virtual machine on Proxmox. Okay, so I will go to my Proxmox here and I will simply click on this create virtual machine. Here we go. So here you have to note the virtual machine ID, which is very important because we have to transfer the file that we have converted to a directory that has the same ID. Okay, so here you have to name your virtual machine. So I will just call it WinServer Hyper-V in order just to distinguish it from the other VMs. So this is the name of my virtual machine. So I will go next. So for the DVD I don't need it, I don't use any media, so do not use any media. For the guest OS type, of course it's Windows, Microsoft Windows, and for the version here I will actually use 2025. Then I will go next. For the system I will keep with the default. Here I have just to provide the storage name. So for me my storage is also called storage, so I will choose it from here. So choose your storage. Then next, for the disk I don't need any because I will be using the imported disk from Hyper-V, so I will just delete this IDE 0 disk. Okay, for the CPU you choose depending on your needs, so I will choose as a type here host. and I will use 4 cores. Okay, for me it's enough. For the memory, choose also what you need. For me, I will stick with 4 gigabytes. Then for the network, you can choose the bridge that you want to use. So I will keep with the default one, which is VMPR0. Then you go next. Okay, so you have everything you need. So one more, do not forget actually to this number here, 148, which is the VM ID. Okay, so I will hit finish. So normally you will see on the left a virtual machine that has been created, but it's not started yet. Here we go, this is it, Win Server Hyper-V. So now we are sure that the directory corresponding to this virtual machine has been created on your Proxmox. So now we can go to our FileZilla client in order to transfer this image here that we have converted, this winserver.qcow2, to the corresponding directory. Okay, so I will open actually FileZilla here. Here we go, this is FileZilla that I will be using in order to transfer the image. Okay, and of course I have set up the credentials for Proxmox. So as protocol I will use SFTP actually, and the host, this is the IP address of my Proxmox. For the logon type I will choose normal, and I will put my credentials. So here I'm using root and I will connect. Okay, so I'm connected to my Proxmox. So you can see on the left I have the directory where my virtual hard disk on Windows exists. So I have to transfer this file here, Windows Server.qcow2, to the corresponding directory. Okay, so for Proxmox, if you're using the default installation, the images will be located on /var/lib/vz/images. But if you have mounted an external drive, normally your images will be located on the mount directory. Okay, so me, for my storage, it's under mount PVE storage. This is the name of my storage, and here is the folder images. So when you see a lot of actually numbers, you can be sure that's the directory where your VM exists. So I will scroll down till I found the VM ID corresponding to the virtual machine that I have created on my Proxmox. So remember, for me it's 148. So this is it, 148. So I go inside it, and now all I have to do is to copy or to transfer actually this winserver.qcow2 file to this corresponding directory. So I will put it here. And of course, as it's actually 11 gigabytes, it will take some time. Okay, so we will wait for the transfer to finish, then we will proceed. So we are almost done here. Okay, so the transfers are finished. So we have now everything in order to boot our machine. But before that, let's go once again to our Proxmox web GUI, and we have to execute a very important command on the shell. So I will go to my Proxmox node here, I will go to the shell, and here I have to execute the command qm rescan. Okay, so it will rescan the volume, and you will get this message: VM148 add unreferenced volume. This is the file that we have transferred, was added actually to the config. So if you don't get this message, it means that you put your QEMU file on the wrong directory. Okay, so now let's return back to our machine, virtual machine, which is 148. Okay, and I will go to the hardware section in order to add this unused disk. So this is the disk that we have just added. So I will click on it and I will edit it. Make sure it's an IDE. So all I have to do is to add it. Okay, add. So now the hard disk is added. Okay, so the last step is to make sure to boot using this hard disk So for that, you go to the options and you look for the boot order. So I will just edit this boot order here. So you can see it's on the last position. So I have to enable it and put it on the first position. Okay, so now I guess everything is okay. So let's hit OK and let's try to boot this virtual machine. So I'll hit just start button here and see on the console what we get. So our virtual machine now is booting. And indeed we have our Windows Server 2025. So let's log in to this server here. So I'll use, of course, the same credentials. Just to make sure that everything is working properly. And indeed we are in. So you can see here the server manager is starting. So we have successfully migrate our Windows Server 2025 from Hyper-V to Proxmox. Okay, so if you found this video helpful,